Ninmah had a laser beam cut into the rock that halved the cave with Alula's body inside. She was carving his face on the rock, a tribute to the first king to die on another planet. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the mini-universe, other life forms had now also become intelligent, and some had already been exploring the universe. Some of these beings were the oldest physical in the universe, such as this praying mantis type. It's only around 430,000 years ago in Earth's time that some of these beings head out towards our solar system. Don't worry, they won't arrive for another 420,000 years. Back on Earth, the Tigris and Euphrates are being made by the Igigi. These rivers were made so that the Anunnaki that were working in the buildings, for refining and medical center and spaceport, could have food and water. Once done, they were taken to the Abzu, Africa, where they had to mine. It was hard work. Enki designed a rock crusher machine, but because they had no infrastructure on Earth, the Dingir on Nibiru had to make it. That would take a year of their time to building and send it to Earth. This wasn't good enough for the young heroes, the Igigi were told at the start. If they help, they would only need to do a little work, but digging deep hole into the ground by hand was too much for them. They were getting tired and angry. Enki had his own place in the Abzu. He had been tinkering with genetics of animals here on Earth, mixing them, creating hybrid animals, and they were behind large fences he had the Igigi make for him. Enki was in charge of the mining in the Abzu, but he wasn't aware of the Igigi getting annoyed at the hard work. For 3,600 years, the Igigi bore the excess. You'll notice the year 3600, and in the Atrahasis tablet, that's 1 year for the Anunki. Please visit my website for all the evidence. Our true history. In the mines, the young sons of God were now so angry they actually set fire to the tools and got in a craft and went to see Enlil. He is the main leader, and so he will have to sort this out. Enki didn't know what was happening. He was still in the Abzu when the Igigi went to Mesopotamia. That means between two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. In the dead of night, under the middle watch of the stars, the Igigi gathered like shadows at the gates of Ikur, Enlil's palace in Nippur. Inside, Enlil slumbered, unaware. Kalkal, the vigilant gatekeeper, sensed the unrest. He slammed the bronze gates shut. Nusku rushed to Enlil's chamber. "My lord, your house is encircled. A rabble howls at your door." Enlil's eyes snapped open. Servants piled weapons by his throne. "Bar the doors," he commanded. "Stand before me with blade drawn." Nusku obeyed, but unease shadowed his gaze. "Why fear your own sons?" Enlil demanded him to summon Anu and Enki. Contact was made with Anu and Enki. Ninmah was also summoned. Anu appeared on a device. Enlil gripped his staff. "Have they risen against me? Shall I unleash war on my own blood?" Anu raised a hand. "Send Nusku." Let him demand answers. Nusku strode into the throng. "Who leads this folly? Who dares besiege Enlil's door?" The Igigi erupted. "We all declared war. The digging, the endless toil, crushes us. We've halted the works. We cry out to Enlil." Nusku returned breathless. They speak as one. The load is too heavy. Tears traced Enlil's cheeks. He turned to Anu. "Carry my decree upward. Call one god forward. Let fate cast him to destruction to appease this storm." We ignored the thunder of their suffering. Enki said, "Why lash out?" The burden was crushing. "We can end this. Let Nimna birth a new race, primeval man from organic material. Let humans bear our yoke. Forge mankind from the void. Let them toil in our stead." Ninmah inclined her head. "This birth is not mine alone. Give me organic material from Enki's creatures he has captured here on Ki, and I shall weave life." Enki smiled. "One god shall be slain. His blood mingled with organic material from a creature here that already walks on 2 legs. From that union, man will rise." One of the Anunnaki were slain in order to make the new human. I'm not sure for what reason. The only thing I can think is that they took the orb from the dead Anunnaki and placed it inside the new human. They used the lab on a new, large orbiting craft they had now got from Nibiru. This craft was huge, and even had a garden in it. Ea was now called Enki, Lord of Water. But it wasn't as simple as it sounds. Enki, Ninma, and even Enki's son Nigashzida tried to get a full, able new primitive worker, but they failed 6 times. The first attempts they used the Neanderthal woman to give birth. The Neanderthal is what they used to get the organic material, also translated as clay or dust. The Neanderthal couldn't give birth. Then they had no choice but to let Ninma birth a human. She knew the risks. Sadly, the first was a baby was born with outstretched weak hands that he could not bend or grasp with. This was no good, so they tried again. This time, the baby had constantly opened eyes, interpreted as blind. The third baby was born with both feet broken and paralyzed. The fourth baby could not hold back his urine. The sixth baby had no womb who could not give birth. The seventh had neither penis nor vagina. Enki tried a new idea, but it was even worse. Multiple severe afflictions. Afflicted head, eyes, neck, ribs, lungs, heart, bowels, spine, and shaky feet. Could not breathe easily, eat, or walk. Overall dislocated and dysfunctional body. Both Ninma and Enki were upset. They had been trying for years. The Igigi were counting on them. If this doesn't work, then the Igigi will stop. And the gold that's needed to be sprinkled in their planet's atmosphere wouldn't be collected, and their planet would die. A new idea was to not use the equipment and bowls from the Anunnaki, but instead made bowls from Earth. Their idea was it might be their own sterilization that was causing the issues. Finally, a baby came out. It was perfect. It had short curly hair, its skin was dark and had dark eyes, much like the Neanderthal. Enki and the others were happy. They had created a primitive worker. It wasn't too smart, but smarter than the Neanderthal, and it could be taught basic things, unlike Neanderthal. Now, they just needed a female. They changed the DNA code, but Ninma didn't want to give birth again. Enki asked his wife, Damkina, to be the mother. Damkina was the daughter of Alula who was left to die on Mars. Damkina agreed, and they tried again. They named the boy Adamu, translating to human or earthling. The day arrived that Damkina was to give birth. Out came a healthy baby girl. She was more like the Anunnaki, lighter skin and sandy hair. This was perfect. Damkina named her Tiamat after the planet that broke up, and part of it is now Earth. They now had one of each, but they knew in order for the humans to breed, they needed at least 8 male and 8 female. Enki asked all the women Anunnaki to help. 7 stepped up, and they were told they would be called mother goddesses. The Indians call them Saptamatrikas. But before they could have the human babies, they needed to know if Adamu and Tiamat could breed. Because if they couldn't, then it would mean the Anunnaki women would have to give birth thousands of times. Sadly, Adamu and Tiamat couldn't have children. But Enki's son, Ningishzida, came up with an idea. You won't believe what he done.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
2 new books. Has all the evidence you need.
Almighty God or Anunnaki gods? You'll get your answer.
I hope you are enjoying these. If you want to watch the other episodes or watch one of my thousands of documentaries, please visit our truehistory.co.uk. Please reshare or repost this. It really helps me keep researching and making content. Thank you. Our True History.